Alien diplomats demand surrender. Humans respond with the ultimate galactic war HFY. The first sign of something extraordinary appeared one early morning when satellites detected unusual objects approaching Earth. They were massive, sleek ships, unlike anything humanity had ever seen. At first, many assumed it was a misreading, a glitch, or perhaps an experimental human-made vehicle. But as the hours passed, their presence became undeniable. Governments across the world scrambled to confirm the information, and soon, news channels were filled with footage of enormous metallic vessels hovering silently over major cities. The ships were imposing, gleaming under the sun, and radiating an aura of precision and power that made people feel both awe and fear. People stared at the sky, unsure whether to marvel at the sight or run in panic. Social media erupted with speculation, from excited discussions about first contact to fearful warnings of an invasion. Scientists were fascinated and terrified in equal measure. How could technology so advanced exist somewhere in the galaxy, and why were they here? Within hours, the world heard the first message. It was broadcast in perfect English, but the voice was strange, almost musical in tone. The aliens called themselves the Zarathi. Their diplomats spoke with calm authority, their words deliberate and unyielding. "Humans," the message began, "your species is under observation. We offer a choice. Surrender or face extinction. This is your only warning." The meaning of those words sank in like a heavy weight. Extinction was no exaggeration. Panic spread through cities and towns. People huddled around televisions and radios. Governments convened emergency meetings. The United Nations called an urgent session, gathering leaders from every nation to discuss the unprecedented situation. Inside the UN headquarters, the tension was almost unbearable. Leaders argued fiercely. Some believed surrendering was the only rational option. "We cannot match them," one diplomat said. "Our weapons are primitive compared to theirs. To resist is to invite destruction." Others, however, spoke with determination. "Humanity cannot simply bow to a superior species," another leader replied. "We have always faced challenges and prevailed. We will not surrender our freedom without a fight." Hidden within the smooth flow of their transmissions were irregular patterns, tiny inconsistencies that suggested the Zarathi technology relied on complex artificial intelligence. If understood correctly, these patterns could reveal weaknesses, vulnerabilities that might be exploited. It was a small spark of hope in a situation that seemed otherwise hopeless. While scientists analyzed the signals, military forces around the world began mobilizing. Every nation contributed whatever forces it could: fighter jets, satellites, orbital defense platforms, and experimental weapons. Earth's armies, navies, and air forces united for the first time in history under a single goal: to protect the planet. Despite differences in culture, language, and ideology, humanity found itself standing together. Fear was universal, but so was determination. Then came the first test. A Zarathi fleet descended toward an uninhabited island in the Pacific, firing energy pulses that melted the rock and scorched the forests. The world watched in horror, expecting total devastation. But something remarkable happened. Earth's combined defense systems, working in harmony for the first time, managed to repel the attack. Missiles and defensive energy shields disrupted the Zarathi assault, forcing the alien fleet to retreat. The world erupted in stunned celebration. Humanity had survived the first strike, not because of superior technology, but because of ingenuity, courage, and coordination. Commander Aisha Khan, the leader of the Unified Planetary Defense Force, became a figure of inspiration. She coordinated attacks with precision, moving Earth's forces as one organism, predicting alien movements and responding faster than anyone thought possible. "We cannot underestimate them," she told her team, "but neither should we underestimate ourselves. Humanity has always adapted. Today will be no different." Grant had discovered suggested they were not infallible. If humans could disrupt their AI even briefly, it could give Earth forces a crucial advantage. It was a risky strategy, but with little choice, plans began to take shape. While scientists and military leaders strategized, civilians across the globe reacted in their own ways. Some joined emergency defense programs, others volunteered for evacuation teams or civil protection units. Entire communities came together, setting aside political differences to support the larger cause. Engineers, programmers, and students contributed ideas and energy to reverse engineer captured drones, to analyze alien communication methods, and to develop countermeasures. The collective human spirit, often overlooked in the past, now became the most vital weapon against a technologically superior foe. Amid the tension, political leaders struggled to maintain calm. The public's fear was palpable, yet moments of hope emerged. Videos circulated of civilians helping each other, of soldiers and volunteers working tirelessly together, of scientists achieving breakthroughs that even a few days earlier seemed impossible. Humanity was beginning to understand a fundamental truth. Their greatest strength was not in their technology, but in their ability to innovate, adapt, and unite. Then came the public declaration. With the world watching, the UN broadcasted humanity's response to the Zarathi. Commander Khan, flanked by leaders from every continent, spoke with steady authority. "We will not surrender. We will defend our home, our families, and our future. Humanity is resilient. We will fight with every ounce of ingenuity, courage, and determination we possess. Let the Zarathi know, we are not afraid." Yet humanity continued to adapt, learning from each encounter. Small victories became symbols of hope. A team of engineers managed to create a prototype energy shield that could withstand short bursts of alien fire. Fighter pilots executed daring maneuvers that disrupted alien drones. Civilians hacked minor alien surveillance satellites, creating confusion in their ranks. Each success, no matter how small, reminded humanity that they were not powerless. But even in these moments of triumph, the threat loomed large. Every city, every military installation, and every population center faced the possibility of annihilation. Fear remained a constant companion, yet it did not paralyze humanity. Instead, it sharpened focus, inspired courage, and fostered a determination that no alien ultimatum could break. One evening, as the sun set over a quiet city, Commander Khan stood on the observation deck of Earth's primary orbital station. Below her, lights from human cities twinkled, and above, the massive Zarathi ships hovered silently. She felt the weight of responsibility, but also a deep sense of pride. Humanity was standing together for the first time in history, facing a threat unlike any before. And for the first time, she realized that while the Zarathi believed themselves superior, they had underestimated one crucial thing: human determination. That night across Earth, millions of people slept under the silent watch of the alien fleet. Some feared the worst, some dreamed of victory, but all understood one simple truth: humanity would not surrender. They would fight. They would endure. And somehow they would find a way to turn fear into triumph. By the time the next morning arrived, humanity was ready. Research labs hummed with activity, military vessels were prepared for deployment, and civilian volunteers continued to innovate solutions for the upcoming battles. Every corner of the planet was alive with energy, resilience, and hope. Humanity's response had begun not with firepower alone, but with the unwavering belief that their ingenuity, courage, and unity could face even the greatest of cosmic challenges. The Zarathi, observing from above, watched silently as humans prepared. They had expected fear, submission, and chaos. Instead, they saw organization, creativity, and determination. For the first time in their history of encounters with other species, the aliens faced a species that refused to bend. Their diplomats had demanded surrender, but humans had chosen defiance. The stage was set. The ultimate confrontation was about to begin, and neither side would ever forget the first day humanity decided to stand as one. The moment humanity had feared most arrived quietly, almost imperceptibly. The Zarathi fleet moved with silent precision through the void of space, closing in on Earth's orbital defenses. The world below held its breath as radar systems and satellites tracked the massive ships. They were larger than any human vessel, shaped like elongated crescents with edges that shimmered faintly with energy. Their movement was graceful, deliberate, and terrifyingly efficient. Commander Aisha Khan observed the approaching fleet from the command center aboard Earth's orbital station. Every screen in the room displayed live data from satellites, fighter patrols, and space monitoring systems. Her eyes scanned the numbers and visuals with focused intensity, noting every shift in the alien formation. She knew that humanity's survival depended not only on firepower, but also on anticipation and ingenuity. "Attention all units," she called out to the assembled officers. "They believe their technology makes them invincible. They do not understand us. We will use our weaknesses against their strengths. Every pilot, every engineer, every civilian contributing to our efforts, you are the edge that will turn the tide. Prepare for engagement." They discovered that while the aliens were brilliant at coordination, their systems relied heavily on predictive algorithms. When unexpected variables were introduced, the AI struggled to adapt quickly. It was a narrow vulnerability, but it was enough to give humanity an advantage. Fighter pilots, including Captain Hiro Tanaka, were briefed on a daring plan. They would engage in feint maneuvers, using small human ships to lure alien drones into traps where the AI coordination could be disrupted. The larger human fleet, stationed strategically in orbit, would then exploit the confusion to inflict maximum damage. It was risky, and the margin for error was almost non-existent, but humanity had no other choice. The first encounter occurred over the Pacific orbital zone. Human fighters darted through the darkness of space, weaving between debris and satellites. The Zarathi drones reacted as expected, following predictable attack patterns. As they fell into the traps laid by human strategists, their coordination faltered. Missiles and energy pulses aimed at human ships missed, while human vessels executed daring counterattacks. The engagement lasted only minutes, but the impact was monumental. Several drones were destroyed, and for the first time, humanity realized that they could not only survive but also strike back. On Earth, the news of the victory spread like wildfire. Broadcasts of simulations, interviews with scientists, and footage of brave pilots inspired millions. Fear remained, but it was now tempered with pride and hope. Civilians volunteered to contribute, offering skills in engineering, programming, and logistics. Humanity had discovered that even those not on the front lines could make a difference. Dr. Grant worked tirelessly alongside engineers to reverse engineer captured drones. Small teams managed to replicate some of the alien technology, combining it with human innovations to create hybrid systems. Energy shields, enhanced propulsion systems, and adaptive weapons began to emerge. Though primitive compared to full Zarathi vessels, these creations allowed humans to push the boundaries of what was possible. Meanwhile, Commander Khan led missions to defend lunar colonies that were under threat. The Zarathi sought to cut off human access to space resources, believing that controlling the moon would cripple Earth's defenses. Khan's strategy relied not only on brute force but also on ingenuity. Human ships used irregular flight paths, improvised formations, and daring maneuvers to outsmart the aliens. Each success reinforced the growing confidence of humanity's forces. Captain Hiro Tanaka became a symbol of human daring. In one mission, he piloted a small strike craft through a cluster of alien ships, launching an assault that disrupted their formation. Despite being vastly outnumbered, his quick thinking and understanding of the aliens' predictable patterns caused significant damage. His actions demonstrated that human courage and intuition could challenge even the most advanced technology. As the battles intensified, the Zarathi diplomats communicated again. They expressed surprise at humanity's resilience. Their initial belief that humans would surrender quickly had proven false. Some alien commanders began to question their own assumptions, noting that human unpredictability was more dangerous than any weapon. This internal uncertainty among the Zarathi gave humans a psychological edge that was just as important as their tactical victories. On Earth, scientists and civilians continued their work. Hackers developed programs to interfere with alien AI signals, creating brief windows where human ships could maneuver without detection. Engineers modified energy weapons to operate under extreme conditions, while strategists simulated hundreds of scenarios to prepare for every possible attack. Even simple innovations, like reflective surfaces to confuse enemy sensors, proved effective. Humanity was learning quickly and exploiting every advantage, however small. One night, as Commander Khan reviewed battle reports, she received an unexpected transmission. A Zarathi diplomat, captured during a previous skirmish, had requested communication. Dr. Grant joined her as the alien appeared on the hollow screen. Its face was humanoid but elegant, with features refined and symmetrical, yet its eyes conveyed a cold intelligence. "You continue to surprise us," the alien said. Its voice was calm, almost curious. "Your species is more resilient than we anticipated. We underestimated the value of unpredictability. It is remarkable. We do not surrender. Humanity does not yield easily." Humanity was not only defending Earth, it was proving that they could match, and even outsmart, a species that had conquered countless others across the galaxy. As weeks passed, the battle spread beyond Earth orbit. Humans executed raids on supply lines, disrupted alien communication satellites, and launched surprise attacks on isolated fleets. Each success relied on creativity and teamwork, emphasizing that human strength lay in collaboration and adaptability rather than mere numbers or raw power. Dr. Grant made another breakthrough. By exploiting the AI patterns he had studied, his team developed a prototype quantum hacking device capable of temporarily disabling alien drones. Though limited in range and duration, it provided a significant advantage during engagements. When deployed in the field, human fleets could maneuver with reduced risk, striking critical targets before the aliens could recover. Meanwhile, civilian contributions continued to be vital. Engineers converted cargo ships into makeshift warships. Programmers created algorithms to predict alien movements. Ordinary people, once powerless observers, now played active roles in humanity's defense. The boundaries between soldier, scientist, and civilian blurred, highlighting a unique strength of humanity, the ability to unite across all sectors of society. During one crucial operation, human forces defended a mining station in the asteroid belt. The Zarathi attempted to seize resources vital for Earth's growing fleet, believing it would cripple humanity's progress. Yet through clever coordination, human ships lured alien forces into an ambush. Drones were destroyed, key resources secured, and morale soared. Humanity had again proven that courage, strategy, and adaptability could overcome superior technology. In the midst of this, Captain Hiro Tanaka led a team of pilots on a daring mission to intercept a Zarathi supply convoy. They used unpredictable flight patterns, feints, and coordinated attacks to maximize disruption. Against all odds, they succeeded. Supplies critical to the alien fleet were destroyed, forcing the Zarathi to reconsider their operational plans. It was a small victory, but it had strategic consequences, demonstrating that even a single human initiative could influence the course of the war. Every success reinforced a growing truth. The Zarathi were not infallible. They had anticipated an easy conquest, yet humanity's adaptability, creativity, and determination continually challenged their expectations. The aliens, who relied heavily on predictable AI strategies, struggled to cope with human ingenuity. Each engagement highlighted a fundamental human advantage, the ability to think outside of rigid systems and act unpredictably in the face of danger. By the end of the second month, humanity's confidence had grown. While the threat remained immense, people were no longer paralyzed by fear. Communities supported each other, scientists celebrated breakthroughs, and pilots trained tirelessly for the next engagement. The combined effort of the entire species created a resilience that no alien technology could easily overcome. Commander Khan reflected on everything humanity had achieved. She realized that the war was no longer just about defending territory. It was about proving that humans were capable of facing the impossible and emerging stronger. The Zarathi had underestimated them, and that mistake would continue to shape the conflict. As the human fleet prepared for the next series of operations, a sense of unity and determination permeated every level of society. People understood that survival depended not just on weapons or technology, but on their collective courage, intelligence, and creativity. Humanity had discovered its greatest strength, the ability to endure, adapt, and innovate against overwhelming odds. The Zarathi, for the first time, observed a species that refused to be conquered. Each skirmish, each clever maneuver, and each unexpected victory reminded the aliens that humans were unpredictable, resilient, and unyielding. The stage was set for a larger confrontation, one that would test every human's resolve and ingenuity. And yet, humanity faced the future with confidence, knowing that their unity and determination could turn the tide against even the most formidable adversary. The ultimate battle was not yet here, but the foundations were being laid. Humanity had survived the first test, adapted to alien tactics, and even begun to strike back. Their journey had transformed fear into determination and uncertainty into strategy. With every passing day, humans grew stronger, smarter, and more united, ready to face whatever the Zarathi would throw at them next. For the first time in history, the aliens realized that conquering humanity would not be easy. And for the first time, humanity knew that victory, however difficult, was possible. Humanity had survived the initial attacks, adapted to alien tactics, and even begun striking back. But Commander Isha Khan knew that the Zarathi would not be so easily shaken for long. Their fleet was vast, their weapons were powerful, and their AI was designed to learn and adapt. Every victory humanity had won was precious, but it was also a warning. Complacency could be fatal. Dr. Elias Grant worked day and night in the orbital laboratories, refining the quantum hacking device they had developed. The device could temporarily disable the AI systems controlling the alien drones, but its effectiveness was limited. Every experiment, every adjustment brought small improvements, yet they needed more. Humanity's survival depended on the ability to disrupt the Zarathi long enough to launch decisive strikes. Grant understood that even a minor breakthrough could change the course of the war. Meanwhile, Captain Hiro Tanaka trained a new generation of pilots. Young men and women, some barely out of their teens, had volunteered for the most dangerous missions. They were taught to exploit the alien AI's predictability, to think creatively in the chaos of battle, and to trust their instincts. Tanaka often reminded them, "They have technology, we have intuition, they have rules, we have imagination. That is our advantage." These vessels were faster, more agile, and equipped with weapons capable of both defensive and offensive operations. They were not perfect, but they were enough to challenge isolated Zarathi units. Small teams of these ships began carrying out raids on supply lines and communication arrays, weakening the enemy while testing new strategies. The turning point came when humans received intelligence about a critical Zarathi supply hub located near a dense asteroid field in the outer solar system. The hub supplied fuel, weapons, and AI maintenance units for the alien fleet. Capturing or destroying it could slow the Zarathi advance and provide humans with valuable resources. Commander Khan and her team began planning a daring operation that relied on speed, precision, and deception. The plan was audacious. Human fleets would approach the asteroid field in small, seemingly uncoordinated groups. Some ships would act as decoys, drawing Zarathi patrols away from the main objective. Others would slip through narrow gaps in the asteroid field, avoiding detection, and strike directly at the supply hub. It was a risky strategy, dependent on perfect timing and flawless execution. One mistake could mean total destruction. On the day of the operation, the human fleet moved with silent determination. Commander Khan oversaw the operation from the flagship, coordinating multiple units simultaneously. Every movement was calculated, every signal precise. The decoy teams executed their maneuvers, drawing enemy drones into the open where human ships could ambush them. The Zarathi, expecting straightforward resistance, were caught off guard by the complexity and unpredictability of human tactics. Inside the asteroid field, Captain Tanaka led his strike team. The terrain was treacherous, with massive rocks shifting unpredictably. Using a combination of manual piloting and AI-assisted navigation, the human ships weaved through the obstacles, avoiding detection. The moment they reached the supply hub, they deployed the quantum hacking devices. For several critical minutes, the AI systems controlling the Zarathi defenses went dark. The humans acted swiftly. Explosives placed strategically disabled fuel depots and weapon storage facilities. Communication arrays were disrupted, causing confusion among the nearby alien forces. The hub, once a vital component of the Zarathi war machine, was rendered temporarily useless. The human strike team navigated back through the asteroid field, avoiding counterattacks, and returned to friendly lines. The success was celebrated across Earth. Scientists, engineers, and civilians who had contributed to the operation shared in the victory. Humanity had struck a blow that could not be ignored. The Zarathi, however, were not defeated. Their leaders realized that humans were far more resourceful than anticipated. Internal debates erupted among their high command. Some argued for a direct, overwhelming assault to crush humanity quickly. Others suggested that humans should be observed and studied further, recognizing that their adaptability posed a strategic threat. These divisions slowed the alien response, giving humans a valuable window to consolidate their gains. On Earth, preparations for the next phase of the conflict were already underway. Scientists worked on improving the quantum hacking devices, extending their range and duration. Engineers refined hybrid ship designs, incorporating lessons learned from previous engagements. Pilots trained relentlessly, practicing maneuvers that would allow them to exploit enemy weaknesses in future battles. Civilians continued to contribute, creating simulations, analyzing data, and supporting logistical operations. Humanity's war effort had become a collective endeavor, uniting the planet in a common purpose. During a meeting aboard the flagship, Commander Khan addressed her officers. "We have proven that we can fight, that we can survive, and that we can strike back. But this is only the beginning. The Zarathi will adapt. They will learn. Our next challenge is to anticipate their moves and continue to innovate. Every idea, every action, every person counts. Humanity has faced impossible odds before, and we will do so again. This is our moment to show that we are not merely survivors. We are innovators, strategists, and fighters. We will not yield." Some commanders feared that humans' unpredictable nature made them too dangerous to confront directly. This internal division was subtle, but it provided humans with a chance to exploit it. Dr. Grant suggested targeted operations that could deepen mistrust among the Zarathi, using misinformation and strategic strikes to exacerbate their divisions. The plan was implemented with precision. Small teams carried out raids that appeared unconnected, but were designed to suggest widespread human capability. Fake transmissions and clever decoys, led Zarathi commanders to believe that humans had greater resources and intelligence than they actually did. The result was confusion and hesitation within the alien ranks, slowing their operations and giving humanity more time to prepare. Amid these developments, the human fleet faced its greatest test yet. A large Zarathi force approached a critical asteroid station, intending to regain control of the outer solar system. Commander Khan devised a complex ambush, combining decoy maneuvers, hybrid ships, and quantum hacking devices. The engagement was intense, with fast-moving ships weaving through asteroids, firing energy pulses and evading attacks. Human pilots demonstrated extraordinary skill, improvising in real time to counter alien tactics. Captain Tanaka's leadership proved decisive. He coordinated multiple squads, using the asteroid terrain to their advantage. By exploiting the AI's limitations, human forces were able to disable key enemy ships, causing chaos in the Zarathi formation. The battle was grueling, with moments of near disaster, but humanity's determination and ingenuity prevailed. When the dust settled, the Zarathi had suffered significant losses, and humans had secured control of the asteroid station. The victory had consequences beyond the battlefield. Morale across Earth soared. Civilians were inspired by the courage of pilots and engineers. Scientists celebrated their contributions to technology, and governments recognized the effectiveness of unity and collaboration. Humanity had learned that survival depended not only on individual skill, but on collective effort and shared determination. The Zarathi, observing the outcome, were forced to reconsider their assumptions. Humans were not predictable, they were not easily intimidated, and they could exploit weaknesses that even advanced AI could not anticipate. Internal debates among the alien command grew more heated. Some argued for negotiation, while others insisted on escalation. The divisions among the Zarathi mirrored the growing unity of humanity, a contrast that could not be ignored. Back on Earth, preparations for the next offensive continued. Dr. Grant refined the quantum hacking devices, creating longer-lasting disruptions to alien AI systems. Engineers improved hybrid ships, integrating new weapons and defensive systems. Pilots trained for coordinated assaults that would maximize the element of surprise. Civilians contributed to intelligence analysis, logistics, and communication networks. Humanity was becoming a true interdependent force, combining brains, courage, and ingenuity to face an enemy that seemed unbeatable. Commander Khan stood on the observation deck of the flagship, watching the stars. The Zarathi fleet remained a looming presence, but humans had proven that they could challenge it. She thought about every pilot, every scientist, every civilian who had contributed to their victories. Their efforts had transformed fear into action, uncertainty into strategy, and desperation into hope. Humanity had not only survived the early attacks, they had begun to shape the course of the war itself. As the fleet prepared for the next series of operations, the Zarathi continued to observe. They had encountered many species across the galaxy, but few had demonstrated the combination of ingenuity, courage, and adaptability that humans possessed. Each engagement reinforced a simple truth: humanity was not an opponent to be underestimated. The next phase of the conflict promised to be even more challenging. Humans would need to strike deeper into Zarathi territory to disrupt supply lines, weaken fleets, and prepare for decisive engagements. The risk was immense, but so was the potential reward. Humanity had learned that survival required more than weapons. It required strategy, creativity, and unyielding determination. As Commander Khan reviewed reports and planned future operations, she understood that humanity's greatest weapon was not the ships, the missiles, or the quantum devices. It was the human mind itself. The ability to think creatively, to adapt quickly, and to act with courage in the face of overwhelming odds set humanity apart from any species the Zarathi had encountered. The war was far from over. The ultimate battle had yet to come, but humanity had proven that they could survive, adapt, and fight back. They had turned the initial desperation into opportunity, the fear into innovation, and the impossible into achievable victories. Each step brought them closer to challenging the Zarathi on their own terms, to demonstrating that humans were not merely survivors. They were innovators, strategists, and warriors capable of shaping their own destiny. For the first time, humanity looked beyond mere survival. They began to see the possibility of victory, and they were ready to fight with every ounce of ingenuity, courage, and determination they possessed. The galaxy would soon learn that humans were a force unlike any other, unpredictable, resilient, and unstoppable when united. Humanity had survived the initial invasion, adapted to the Zarathi's superior technology, and had begun to strike back with surprising success. Yet Commander Aisha Khan knew that the ultimate challenge was ahead. The Zarathi fleet remained formidable, their homeworld heavily defended, and their leaders relentless. Every victory humanity had won was only a step toward the real test, facing the full power of the alien command fleet and proving that humans were not to be conquered. Preparations on Earth and in orbit were relentless. Engineers worked day and night, integrating the latest hybrid technology into human fleets. Every missile, shield, and energy pulse device was refined to maximum efficiency. Pilots trained tirelessly, running simulations that included every scenario imaginable. Civilians contributed in countless ways. Some analyzed intercepted alien communications, others optimized supply chains, and many worked to ensure that humanity's infrastructure could support prolonged conflict. It was a global effort, and every person played a part. Dr. Elias Grant had made a breakthrough that could change the course of the war. By combining quantum hacking technology with adaptive algorithms, he created a system capable of temporarily disabling large sections of the Zarathi AI network. This meant that human forces could strike directly at heavily defended targets while the aliens' systems were disrupted. The risk was immense. Any error could result in disaster, but the potential payoff was worth it. Commander Khan assembled her senior officers in the strategy room aboard the flagship. "This is the moment humanity has been preparing for," she began. "The Zarathi expect us to be cautious, predictable, and fearful. We will give them none of that. Our plan relies on creativity, timing, and coordination. Every pilot, every ship, every device must operate as one. Failure is not an option, but courage and ingenuity will guide us." Each pilot understood the stakes. Lives, homes, and the future of humanity depended on their actions. The sense of responsibility was heavy, but it was accompanied by determination. Humans had proven they could challenge the Zarathi before. Now they would aim to decisively tip the scales. The operation began with precision. Human fleets moved in multiple coordinated waves. Decoy ships drew Zarathi patrols away from the primary assault, creating confusion among the alien ranks. Meanwhile, the strike teams moved through asteroid belts, using the natural terrain to mask their approach. Sensors flickered as the quantum devices activated, temporarily blinding large portions of the Zarathi AI network. For several critical minutes, the human fleet had the advantage. They struck with relentless precision, targeting command ships, communication hubs, and weapon arrays. Explosions lit the dark expanse of space as alien vessels were damaged or destroyed. Despite the chaos, human forces maintained discipline, executing maneuvers that combined intuition, strategy, and split-second decisions. Captain Tanaka led a daring maneuver, piloting his strike craft directly into the heart of the Zarathi formation. Enemy ships attempted to flank and intercept, but the temporary disruption in AI coordination gave him the opening he needed. His squadron followed, navigating through fire and debris, disabling critical alien systems, and creating a path for the main fleet to advance. Their courage and skill were unmatched, demonstrating that human intuition could rival even the most advanced AI. On Earth, civilians watched live feeds and broadcasts of the engagement. There was tension, hope, and awe as humanity's forces executed maneuvers that had once seemed impossible. Engineers monitored the performance of hybrid ships and quantum devices, ready to make rapid adjustments if needed. Scientists tracked the effectiveness of their hacking protocols. Every sector of human effort was engaged, united in a single purpose. The Zarathi responded with overwhelming force. Reinforcements arrived, and their AI systems attempted to recalibrate and counterattack. But human adaptability proved decisive. Pilots improvised in real time, using unexpected flight paths and sudden maneuvers to exploit gaps in alien defenses. Hybrid ships deployed energy pulses in sequences designed to overload enemy shields. Every action was a combination of preparation, ingenuity, and split-second decision-making. Commander Khan coordinated the operation from the flagship. Her voice was calm but firm as she relayed instructions and adjusted strategy based on unfolding events. Focus on the command vessels, protect the support teams, exploit any hesitation. Remember, we are human. We adapt, we improvise, and we prevail. They amplified the quantum hacking effect, temporarily disabling the AI controlling the Zarathi flagship. With the enemy's command systems disrupted, human forces were able to target critical sections of the ship, causing cascading failures throughout the alien fleet. The tide of the battle began to turn unmistakably in humanity's favor. As the engagement continued, humanity's unconventional tactics caused confusion among Zarathi leaders. Internal debates erupted, as some commanders realized that underestimating humans had been a grave mistake. The alien fleet, once coordinated and intimidating, now struggled to maintain cohesion. Their confidence faltered in the face of relentless ingenuity and determination displayed by human forces. Captain Tanaka executed the final part of his mission. Leading a small squadron, he penetrated the damaged flagship's defenses, planting energy disruptors designed to permanently disable key systems. The human ships pulled back just as the disruptors detonated, crippling the flagship and sending shockwaves through the remaining Zarathi fleet. The aliens, facing unexpected losses and unrelenting human resistance, began to retreat, signaling the first large-scale Zarathi withdrawal humanity had ever witnessed. Victory, however, was not celebrated with arrogance. Commander Khan understood that the war was far from over, but humanity had achieved something extraordinary. They had demonstrated that courage, ingenuity, and unity could overcome even the most advanced technology. Every scientist, engineer, pilot, and civilian who had contributed played a part in shaping the outcome. Humanity had not only survived, they had proven their resilience and capability to the galaxy. In the aftermath, humanity assessed the results. Hybrid ships were repaired, quantum devices were refined further, and pilots trained for the next engagement. Intelligence gathered from the retreating Zarathi fleet revealed that divisions within their command had deepened. Some factions wanted to negotiate peace, recognizing the unpredictability and resourcefulness of humans. Others insisted on continued aggression. These internal conflicts presented humanity with strategic opportunities to further secure their position in the galaxy. Dr. Grant noted that the AI disruption technology could be scaled and deployed in multiple regions, giving humanity the ability to challenge Zarathi forces even deeper in their territory. Engineers prepared fleets for extended operations beyond the solar system, and diplomats began preparing messages to alien factions that might be swayed to negotiation or alliance. Humanity's perspective was no longer limited to defense. They were beginning to think strategically about their role in the wider galaxy. Commander Khan reflected on the journey that had brought humanity to this point. From the first alien ultimatum demanding surrender to the present victories, humans had demonstrated qualities that no technology alone could replicate: creativity, adaptability, courage, and an unyielding spirit. Every challenge faced, every innovation achieved, and every risk taken had reinforced a fundamental truth. The strength of humanity lay not only in machines or weapons, but in the minds and hearts of the people. As the Zarathi retreated toward their home system, it became clear that future engagements would be necessary. Yet humanity had proven their potential, sending a powerful message to the galaxy. Earth's species was not to be conquered. Alien civilizations observing these events began to take note of humanity's ingenuity and resilience. Word spread that humans were capable of extraordinary adaptability, capable of facing overwhelming odds and emerging victorious. The next step for humanity was not merely survival, it was to secure their place among the stars. Hybrid technology was further developed, colonies on the Moon and Mars were reinforced, and exploration beyond the solar system became a tangible goal. Every human understood that they were part of a larger story, one that extended beyond Earth itself. Despite the exhaustion, the planet celebrated. Civilians, soldiers, and scientists shared a profound sense of accomplishment. Humanity had faced an existential threat and responded not with fear, but with intelligence, creativity, and unity. Leaders spoke of future possibilities, highlighting that while the Zarathi were still a threat, humans had proven they could shape the course of galactic events rather than be shaped by them. Commander Khan stood once more on the observation deck of the flagship, watching the retreating alien fleet fade into the distance. She reflected on the courage displayed by every member of humanity, from the youngest pilot to the most experienced engineer. The war had revealed the best of humanity, their resilience, ingenuity, and determination. These qualities were what would define the species in the years to come, shaping their future not only on Earth but across the galaxy. Captain Tanaka, walking alongside her, smiled as he looked at the stars. "We've done more than survive," he said. "We've shown them who we are. They thought they could intimidate us, control us, maybe even destroy us, but we didn't just fight back. We adapted, we innovated, and we won." Grant, reviewing the data from the latest engagement, added, "We have the tools, the knowledge, and the ingenuity. The Zarathi are powerful, yes, but they've underestimated a simple truth: humans are unpredictable. We learn, we adapt, and we never surrender." The retreat offered humanity time to regroup, strengthen, and prepare for future challenges. More importantly, it had proven that Earth's species was not weak, not easily dominated, and capable of outthinking even the most advanced foes. Humanity had become a true force in the galaxy. Across the planet, people looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of pride. They understood that the war had tested the limits of human courage, ingenuity, and resilience. Every victory, every innovation, and every act of bravery was a testament to the potential of the species. Humans were no longer just inhabitants of a single planet. They were participants in a larger galactic story, ready to define their place among the stars. And for the first time in history, humanity looked not just to survive, but to thrive. They had faced the ultimate threat and responded with intelligence, courage, and unity. The Zarathi had demanded surrender, expecting fear and compliance, but humanity had answered with ingenuity, resilience, and determination. The galaxy had learned an important lesson: humans were not to be underestimated. The stars shone brightly above Earth, as if acknowledging the triumph of a species that had refused to bow. Humanity had fought, adapted, and prevailed. The ultimate galactic war had begun with fear, but it had ended with hope, courage, and the unmistakable rise of a species capable of shaping its own destiny.